At this exhibition, I filmed quite a few suppliers and industry peers. I do not just want to show the appearance of the equipment, but also where these companies are heading. Some are moving toward higher-end welding heads, some toward control platforms, and other toward scanning, cooling, and processing monitoring. So in this video, I want to walk you through them in a very simple and straightforward way. This is Relays, and overall it feels very much like a high-end industrial scanning brand. What stands out is not just speed, but also precision, stability, and long-term performance. If you are working on high-end industrial applications, especially those with demanding scanner requirements, this is definitely the brand worth watching. So to me, it looks like a very specialized player in high-end scanning system. Doluyo mainly showcased the laser chillers at this exhibition. A chiller may not look as eye-catching as a welding head, but it is actually a basic support system for stable laser operation. Its coverage looks quite broad, from low and mid power system to ultra-fast and UV applications. So overall, this company feels practical and very much focused on supporting solutions. The most obvious change with Virtual this time is that it is moving forward to a more complete platform strategy. It is no longer just about control system, but also integrating scanners, vision, and robotic welding. In other words, it is no longer aiming only at flashy cutting control, but at becoming a high-level platform entry point. That is a very important shift to watch in the industry. Authortech feels like a one-stop mid-range laser processing solution supplier. It brings flat cutting, tube cutting, and handheld welding into one overall system. Companies like these are not always the most premium or most expensive, but they are usually easier to implement. For many machine builders, that kind of completeness is very attractive. Doluyo mainly showcased the laser chillers at this exhibition. A chiller may not look as eye-catching as a welding head, but it is actually a basic support system for stable laser operation. Its coverage looks quite broad, from low and mid power system to ultra-fast and UV applications. So overall, this company feels practical and very much focused on supporting solutions. Teiyu in SNA feels like a very mature, brand-driven player in the laser chill sector. It not only has a broad product line, but also very strong brand identity. From ultra-fast and UV system to fiber lasers and hand welding, its offerings are clearly structured into product series. So this company looks like one of the leading players that has already built both scales and brand recognition in this space. WSX, also known Wanshunxin, focus this time was very clear: welding heads, cutting heads, and hybrid cutting solutions. To me, it looks like a very typical specialist in the laser processing head. Its strength is not necessarily being all-encompassing, but rather going deep into processing head segment. So if we're talking about execution and components, Wanshunxin is definitely a representative brand. What impressed me the most about Weihong this time were its nesting software, Weihong Cloud, and intelligent robot welding. It is no longer just a traditional control system company, but it's clearly moving forward software platforms and factory-level management, especially in robot welding. It is obvious trying to reduce the barriers of programming and commissioning. So what it is selling now is not just control, but also high-level operational and data logic. GBTK gave me the impression of being a typical high-end scanning gunvo and scan process head supplier. It is clearly not limited to small marking scanners, but is moving towards high-power, large format, and industrial operations. From what was shown, it is not just selling the gunvo itself, but also complete scan-based application solutions. So this company feels like a specialized execution and player in the scanning field.